That's what I'm talking about. Well, welcome back, friends, to Build a Lot Acres. My name's Case, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about Log-Rite, the brand, and some of their different logging tools, and why I chose them, and some different options and uses for those tools you may not have thought of, because these cant hooks are good for a lot more than just turning logs. So it's October 29th, 2022. Let me know in the comments if you guys are burning wood yet. Here in Massachusetts, it's been getting colder. This morning is about 35 degrees Fahrenheit, so I fired the wood stove up actually yesterday. It's been running for about 24 hours now, and it feels really good. Perfect day to discuss these Log-Rite tools. So I guess we should start off with, why did I choose Log-Rite of all the brands available? So there's a few reasons. The biggest reason is it's an American company. They're actually made in Connecticut, which is one state over from me. And I try to buy American products when I can. Sometimes you can't because there isn't an American option available. And sometimes it's so cost prohibitive and expensive that it's not really an option for most people. But I don't find that to be the case with these Log-Rite tools. I think they're affordable for most people. And I think most people could find a way to afford buying them for their firewood or whatever they need them for. Another reason I chose Log-Rite is they use aluminum for their tools, which I think is good for a number of reasons. And I believe they may be the first, they're definitely one of the first companies to start using aluminum for these types of tools. Traditionally, PVs and cant hooks would have been wood. Some companies will use steel, but I think aluminum is a great choice. It's lightweight, it's still strong, and it's resistant to rust and a lot of the issues you're going to have with steel. And it's going to be more durable than wood. It's not going to crack, can't break, all that kind of stuff. And for anyone wondering about the strength of these aluminum tools, I've hung off the end of this 5-foot cant hook with my body weight of, up to 230 pounds at different points. And I've never had any issues with it breaking, bending, anything like that. And I've turned some monster logs and cants with this, which we're going to show later in the video. We're going to go up to the wood yard. I'm going to show you some real world different uses for these tools that you may not have thought of. But I think we should also discuss what's the difference between a cant hook and a PV, because a lot of people do use those terms interchangeably, but they're not the same. They're very similar tools and they're designed to do a lot of the same jobs. There's one main difference: the tip of the tool. A cant hook is going to have an L-shaped hook tip, hence cant hook, whereas a PV is going to have a straight pointed spike. Now they have a lot of the same uses, but they are different. So with that said, Log-Rite, like I said, it's an American company made in Connecticut in the USA. They make a whole line of tools, some pretty interesting stuff. So if you want to check them out, you can go to their website. I have no affiliation with the company. I don't get any kind of kickback or anything like that. All the tools I have that are Log-Rite, I bought with my own personal money. I have the 60-inch cant hook, and I also have Log-Rite Picaroon. I believe it's 30 or 36 inches long, which I use quite a bit, but I'll discuss that maybe in another video. These tools may look familiar to some of you, and you may have seen these in another color, perhaps orange. The reason for that, Stihl actually has their cant hooks, PVs, I believe they're Picaroons, they're two-man log movers. A lot of their tools are actually made by Log-Rite, and they just get painted Stihl colorings and put Stihl stickers on, but they're actually Log-Rite tools underneath. So if a company as large and globally known as Stihl chooses Log-Rite for their tools, that should tell you just how good these tools are. But here we can see a traditional wooden cant hook. These tools do last a long time. I'm not trying to knock wooden tools. I have a lot of wooden handle tools and they work well, but for these tools, I really like the aluminum, and I just think they make a great product. So one of the biggest uses you're going to see for these cant hooks and PVs is turning logs, whether that be to bucket up into firewood rounds so you don't cut into the dirt or the ground, or maybe you're on a mill and you need to turn the cant to saw the next side. But there are a few other uses that you may not have thought of that these tools can be used for. Let's go out to the wood yard and see what they are. So let's take a look at these tools in action. I think far and away the biggest use for these cant hooks and PVs has got to be turning logs and cants. These tools allow one person to do the work of multiple people or machinery. You can see me here turning a 3,000-pound pine monster log that's 24 feet in length by myself with this Log-Rite cant hook. That would not be possible without these tools. And they really enable you to do a lot of work. Even these smaller logs, like this piece of oak, can really be tough to turn without the proper tools. Log-Rite makes these tools in a number of different lengths. They go all the way down to 24 inches, and they go as large as 78 inches with a mega hook. The mega hook is really designed for the absolute largest of logs and the biggest of jobs. It's going to have a bigger hook, and it's going to have a bigger diameter pipe handle. The smaller and shorter your cant hook or peavey is, the smaller the hook is going to be. So keep that in mind when purchasing your tool. Now, I would say for the majority of people, a 48-inch to 60-inch long cant hook or peavey is going to be the best size. They do make these in different configurations. They make a standard duty blue tool like you see here, but they also do make an extreme duty yellow version of these tools. But those are really meant for professional loggers and people that need to use these tools in extreme duty cases on a daily basis. For the majority of people, I don't think that extreme duty tool is going to be necessary. If you want the absolute best and ruggedest tool they offer, then you may want to purchase it. But I think for most people, the blue-handled standard duty tools are all you're going to need. I've moved a lot of timber with this tool. I've turned a lot of logs. And they make a number of different accessories for these tools that you can use. They make a log stand, for example, that you can put in the end of it and turn this tool into a timber jack. So if you want to buck logs and keep your saw blade out of the dirt, then that's a good option for you. But now that we've looked at some of the regular turning of this tool, I think we should also be taking a look at some of the other uses I was talking about. One of them is going to be using this as a big pry bar to shimmy logs. You can see me here using it to slide the log on the bunks of my sawmill. That's one of the uses I use this for a lot. I haven't seen any damage by doing this. I'm not going to say this is a recommended use by Log-Rite, but it is a use that I've used it for. And sometimes you just got to do what you got to do with the tools you have to get the job done. Another use that I've used this tool for is using the tool with the hook to slide logs along the bunks, like you see here. So if you use your mind and become creative, you can think of a number of different things to do with these tools. Positioning these big logs on a mill by yourself can be a challenge, and you got to come up with creative strategies and techniques to use. The last use is going to be using somewhat of a pry bar to lift the log up in the air, because you really want to cut through the heart evenly so you have nice straight boards after they dry. Well, I think that's going to do it, friends, for today's video. Like I said, Log-Rite makes a whole different line of products. A lot of interesting stuff. They have carts. They have the cant hooks, pickaroons. I believe they make log arches. They have two-man log movers. They have all kinds of things that you may not have even ever thought of. But if you go to their website, you can see it all for yourself. I have no affiliation with their company. I just think they make a great product. I've owned my Log-Rite cant hook as well as my Log-Rite pickaroon for a number of years now, probably 5 or 6 years. And I've used them pretty extremely in some cases, and they've always held up. They've done a good job, and I have no regrets or remorse buying their products. I would recommend them highly, as I've done in today's video. I actually did do a video on my top 3 firewood tools, and this Log-Rite cant hook made it on that list, which is a pretty impressive feat considering the amount of firewood tools that I own. And I think they're a great product. I'm going to link that video at the end of this video, and I will see you guys next time.